Alrighty guys, so I'm at HorseMed Hills this morning for a little bit of a unfortunate situation. I bought a horse last year called Fagen, last January, and he was going really quite well for a while, and then he just suddenly started getting like a bit more bucky, a bit tired on his back, his jump changed, then getting really sore on his hips, was finding it harder and harder to turn around the cross ties. Then obviously we had sort of COVID hit, we weren't really competing very much, so didn't really realise that he couldn't turn around the truck either until late last year. We put on the truck to go to the little jumping day, could not turn around the truck. It took us like 10 minutes to get him to turn around the truck. And he never ran off, he never tried to slam into the wall, he just couldn't turn around. Anyway, we got him on, got him to the show, and then I lunged him as I always do just before he gets ridden because he's a bit sort of tight in the back. And he was, I didn't even know which leg he was lame in. He was so tight in the back and just like uneven everywhere, but sort of warmed up out of it and kept going. And I just figured because he was sort of must have jammed himself in the truck, and that had made him sore. So we jumped him at that little training day, and he jumped, particularly huge, like overjumped everything, but didn't make the nice shape that he used to make, and was a little bit sort of upset by it all. So we brought him back. He had some time off, still treating him, putting out a light exercise on him, and, doing everything we could for him, and acupuncture and everything, and chiropractic. And his saddles all fitted, and he was fine. And then we get to bring him back into work after his time off after Christmas, and he was, actually a bit better. If I kept his neck up more rather than try to make him stretch down to start with, it seemed to be better. But then I could not canter him left to even a canter pole. He just would leap in the air, leap the poles. I'm like, oh, there's something seriously wrong with this horse. So I said to the vet, look, first of all, I had my groom, who's a massage therapist, said, you just massage him for me. And she did. And then the next day I rode him, and he was terrible again, like trying to buck me off properly. And then I asked her where he was sore. I didn't want to know where he was sore. And she said, the shoulder here and over the rump there. And I'm like, okay. She's obviously let go of the muscles that were holding his back tight, and therefore he couldn't brace his spine against me as much, so they didn't want to buck me off. So then I rode him the next day on Butte, and he was pretty much fine. So I'm like, okay, there's something in his spine. I think he must have a kissing spine. So I was quite disappointed to have come to this realisation. So I got the vets in, and Ruth came, poked and prodded and trotted him up and said, he's kind of fine. I said, no. And I told her what I'd done. She went, oh, okay, better x-ray him. But, clinically to look at him, he looks fine. So we x-rayed him, and what do you know? He has got, I'm not quite sure which vertebrae it is, but just behind his saddle, it's a grade 4 kissing spine, so touching all the way down, and then either side, that the base of the spinal procedures are close. So he's coming today for a kissing spine surgery at HorseMed Hills. So these guys are experts in this. We use them as our normal vets anyway, HorseMed Hills and Mortville Equine. But Dan Humpheys is top notch when it comes to kissing spines. So Fagen is going in today. We're going to document his whole journey of having the surgery done. They're going to they think they're going to go in there and shave the vertebrae that the spinal processes, not the actual vertebrae itself, shave that down to make that gap actually bigger again, and then they snip the ligament either side on the two which are close to let them just expand a little bit. So that's how it's done. I will add to this video the x-rays of him, and then prior to coming to surgery, I should say, the vet came back and they put some blocks in, some local blocks into those vertebrae. So they put the needle in, they re-x-ray, make sure the needle's in the right place, and then they inject in there to block the spine out for like 3 hours. And then I waited like an hour and a half, and then I rode him and I jumped in and everything, and he was even better than he was on Butte. So he was back to having that beautiful, I forgot how well he trotted, because over time his trot had just not been so good. Like, he still had a lovely trot, but I forgot what an amazing trot he had. And so I worked him and jumped in that day and went, yeah, this is definitely causing all our issues. So I'm really excited for this process now to get Fagen healthy and right again, and then he'll be out competing next year. So we'll give him all the time he needs, all the rehab that he needs. I'm very excited. Also, use all our toys at EA, so the water treadmill, the spa, the dry treadmill, everything that we have there to rehabilitate these injuries and surgeries. So yeah, you just keep watching this space, and we will keep you up to date with Fagen's progress over the next 12 months, and look forward to seeing him be the champion that I think he can be. So stay tuned, guys.